Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. SeKo Starcraft bringing you a game from the Diamond League. My good buddy Gonzy. I gotta apologize I didn't get to his game sooner. Really enjoyed casting his stuff. Super creative, super fun, and he promised me some very entertaining games that he had put together not too long ago. Got Hamzah, the bottom left. It's the red zerg, who looks like he's going for a 7 pool. Against the hero, Gonzy, up in the top right. Diamond League Protoss player, going for the fast expand. There is our 7 pool. Now Gonzy's going to be going out for a nice early scout on this, so I think he's going to be okay. If it's going to be a forge expand, if it's a gateway expand, it might be a bit tougher. I'm sure Hamzah's a little disappointed to see this early of a scout, which is going to pretty much give up the whole gig as to what's going on. Probe's on its way down. See if he's going to be building himself a forge. He's going to be himself a gateway. Make the most of every trip. Get your minerals in. And we do have ourselves a forge down, which is going to be very important, as I'm sure he scouted that it was, in fact, a pool. Devious. Now, the interesting thing about Gonzy's doing down here is he wants to try and delay these zerglings as much as possible when they come down. If he can delay them with his probe, distract them, get them to even delay for just a second to come over here and attack the probe, it'll actually help him out a ton more. It does not look like Hamzah's going to take the bait. Instead, he knows he's got to go in there and do the damage right away. We actually had a gateway before the cannon, which you could argue both ways which one's more important. This way, he should be able to get himself a wall up first, and it does look like it is going to be the case. There is no more zerglings following this up. We do have a gas on the way, though. Tiny choke, eh? It sure is, Hamzah. It sure is. Question mark. I feel the same way. Bye-bye. Are you retarded? That's... it looks like Hamzah's a little overreacting to this here. I think Hamzah took it a little personally. I was promised a little bit of BM from these games here. That's not even good language. I'm not impressed with that at all. What about playing? See, I agree with you there, Gonzy. Whatever happened to just playing the game? You're benign. That's right, I understand you. Dude, I'ma beat you. You're bad. It's not about grammar. It's about having an impact with your words. So, Gonzy does not know that there is no base happening over here. It is in fact going to be a rush to lair. No banelings, no roaches, just a rush to lair. Cybernetic score down here as well. I think that's just to try and help be, I was going to say part of a wall off, but there wasn't even actually a, how retarded you are. See, that's very, like, 7th grade playground kind of feeling. And I'm just as confused by Gonzy at this point. Now, I think that Hamzah is misinterpreting the bye-bye from Gonzy as you should leave the game. You mad? I guess I could get into what is going to be the best kind of ways for you to piss somebody off in a game. Some of the best things you can say are easy, just E and Z. Easy. You mad is pretty good. Big fan of that. You poop is super fun. English is hard sometimes. That's why I like using even sloppier English. Sometimes that makes things a little bit more interesting. Now I can see these overlords in positions because, as I would have predicted, we're actually going to have a Nydus worm coming in here. We're going to have a one base Nydus roach play. I'd like to say it's all in, but I don't really think that's the plan here. Gonzy's going to get his expansion down. Hasn't been super... No, he has actually been pretty good getting his probes out. Has out the mothership core, which is going to be super happy, but unfortunately for him, he does not really have vision of his corners. Pew pew. I agree. It's a pretty bold spot. Mothership core isn't in position to see this, so I think this is going to get up just fine. Idiot. Pew pew. Now he's having almost a little bit too much fun, and unfortunately for him, he has no units. He's got An Sentry at home to defend against this. Very fast pull on the probes. That sentry is not going to help out much, and in fact will just die very quickly. So I'm sure at this point Gonzy's a little bit unhappy. Hamzah's a little bit supply blocked. But at this stage, I mean, when you're really far ahead and you're feeling really good and you can BM pretty safely, and then all of a sudden your opponent just kind of catches you with one of these cheeky plays, it is pretty bothersome. Don't lose the stalker. Oh man, just holds it back 5 hit points. Almost gonna lose the mothership core. There are 2 queens here and spreading creep. So this is actually a pretty good follow-up from Hamzah. As much as he's a dickhead, I think he's actually doing this the right way. Nexus planetaries. Always helping the game. Another cannon just to make sure. Couple of transfuses. Get himself. Oop. This managed to snag a roach. Now I think that if Hamzah actually decided to go for just more roaches and more lings, he might have actually been able to at least kill this main. But for some reason he's actually teching a little bit more behind this and expanding. He's not going all in as he needs to. Otherwise he would have probably been able to keep the Protoss down to 1 base, even get some spine crawlers at the top, keep himself quite safe. Nice transfuses still, keeping it in the game. Behind this, Hamzah is going up to another base and another supply block. Hydras as well. Pretty good amount of roaches down here. More gateways going to go down. Is going to need some pylons because it looks like he's about to lose his. Good thing for him is it actually won't matter too much. He's actually managed to get up a pretty good number of stalkers here pretty quickly. Pretty impressive. Considering that he only really was working off those 2 gateways for the longest time down there. Does not have the energy for another Nexus cannon. Does have a lot of Chrono Boost kicking around here though. I think we'll be able to help him out a lot with getting out a bit more army. Zealot's going to be really good to get right on top of all these units. And the Nydus is deflected. Lol. Lukiki? I'd consider it kind of lucky, but Hamzah I would give a little bit of disappointment that he didn't quite have the right unit mix there. Or just more Zerglings in general I think would have helped him out a lot. Because you lose more. I don't blame Gonzy for throwing a little bit of spit back. At some point you just kind of want to get angry. Mind games are pretty important still. He has taken the supply lead finally, getting back on his economy, mining back from his main. I know that when I was speaking about Gonzy, he's not the hugest fan of getting them their hotkeys rolling around. Now, there he's finally using some Chrono Boost. Lots of creep, might as well. Keeps it going. Did kill the active creep tumor, which is nice. Most non-idiots don't try to hold it. I'm not too sure exactly what Hamzah means by doing that. It looks as though Gonzy's ready to try to push out and push this back. He does have a pretty good amount of army, but unfortunately, a little bit caught up here in the choke. Cannon's helping out a whole bunch. The thing is that any of these locusts are just going to crush through things so quickly. Get a pretty good amount of damage in. He's gonna get away, let his shields recover at least. Another round of stalkers coming out. He doesn't have the detection he needs yet, which is unfortunate because he needs detection. He's losing these stalkers way too cheaply to free units. No real reason to sit there and trade against locusts with your stalkers. He's actually going to pull these locusts back. Maybe he's afraid of a counterattack, which might not have been a bad thing. There are some emergency crawlers going down here, which probably been more than enough to keep him alive. So that means we're just down to 2 swarm hosts here at the front, which is pretty light, to say the least. Apparently stalkers aren't the right choice for Hamzah, but they appear to be working out okay. He's going to clean up all the creep, killed off those swarm hosts, and he's actually got himself a pretty good spot. Economy-wise, the Zerg player is still behind. He got lucky. Looks like he is going to see this Nydus one before it can finish up, though. Another mothership core down. For being so angry at each other, they both like to laugh out loud a lot. That has got to be one of my favorite lines to hear in StarCraft. To be beating somebody and for them to tell you how bad you are. I mean, there's only so many things that you can really do and say when you're worse than somebody else. It's like one of those, like, yeah, well, I know I'm shitty. But you better not forget that you're shitty too. Not quite as bad as I am. But just don't forget that. Just silly. So silly. So we're going to see Hamzah go hyper 2 base here. He's so terrible. He plays so bad that he's good. See, I like that. Have you guys played like fighting games? Have you ever had a fighting game like Street Fighter that you were really good at and then you play against a friend that's really, really bad and just button mashes and somehow beats you? It's really, 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 really frustrating to be that person that loses to a chum person, and that chummy person is just obviously can talk as much smack as he wants because he doesn't play that game. And so when somebody is like, you're so bad and you win, that really just makes you feel good in a sense. Regardless of how you're playing. For somebody to say like, oh man, if I wasn't playing so bad, I'd totally be able to beat you. Well, yeah, that's just logical. Immortal drop, pretty nice. Gonna deny base, which I think is really important. If Gonzy isn't out here doing this damage, then it would just be a matter of time before Hamzah can claw himself back into a moderately decent position. Now it's back to sarcasm. There's like stages of the BM. Sexy as well. I have not met Gonzy, but I'm sure that's an accurate statement. We're gonna try for another expand. Blink on the way, DTs. This is actually usually an earlier stage of the BM in StarCraft where you start talking about races that are OP. I should develop a scale about what point BM kicks in. Usually OP complaining is higher on the list. And then it's into how bad somebody is. Then it's into how good somebody is that they're bad. And then it's usually about like, oh, I just hate this game in general. Skill doesn't matter. That's usually the last thing people say before they go out is, man, this game just sucks. It's broken. They didn't make it right. That's generally how it ends. Now, once again, crushing right into Locust face first, not the best thing to do. Doesn't have the Colossus out to really deal with this. It's a pretty overwhelming army, but just to sit there and shoot at Locusts is not necessarily the best thing. We'll just kind of skirt around them, get up here, and try to take out another base. No reason not to. Warp Prism still kicking it. Dark Shrine is finished. Third base on the way, not really doing much yet. Gonzy loves all of his extra chrono boost. Having all the life bars up to full makes you feel like you're playing an RPG and winning. The base is up here now for Hamzah. Units wise, he's still behind on workers. Oh wow, that is a fantastic little thing to do. It's just gotta be so annoying. Having that many DTs doesn't even matter how quick you get your detection moving. They will cut through everything. I don't think they're gonna get that last hatchery. But they sure did the job they needed to. They killed the lair, they killed the Hydra Den. The only thing they probably could have killed that would have helped a bit is the infestation pit. They killed, though they did kill the infestation pit. Holy crap. Let's see if Hamzah reaches the final stage of denial, which is this game just sucks in general. It's a pretty big chunk of locusts, though. Well, those are drones in there. Or some drones in there. Easy peasy. Is the detection in here right now? Yeah, must be. I hear dying swarm hosts. Second stage of denial. Saying how bad somebody is. This is just fun at this point. Gonzy should just go home and start making Tempests or something. Third stage of denial. Bad language. Always appropriate. All the overlords at the front. Just for that. Well, he didn't reach that final stage of denial, which is Starcraft sucks. But he was pretty close, I think. Behind this, I'm sure he left this game and probably went right back into another game and tried to cheese somebody. Regardless, great game by Gonzy. Super fun. I'm glad he sent that one off to me. It is a little bit unique and enjoyable. Hope you guys like that. Diamond League, Protoss play, SeKo Starcraft, and we'll have some more games here from Gonzy in the next little bit.